Hey every pony, welcome back to Pony Talk. As you can tell by the title, I am going to respond to something LethalAuroraMage said in a crossover video with Silver-Quill about the episode Leap of Faith a year ago. Hey, give me a break, I just started this series. Anyway, in the video, Silver-Quill gave his thoughts about the moral of the day of how mental hurdles shouldn't hold you back, and I thought he made some good points. Then when Mage gave her thoughts, this happened.
No, that's not a good point. That's the biggest problem with this episode. Mental hurdles keeping you back. Oh, please. Sure, the moral is good, but why do you have to be Granny Smith? Do you know how insulting this is to all the people who have real problems? Old people are affected by their ages. Their bodies grow old and often enough cannot function as well as a young person's. A good fall might be lethal to them or highly damaging. It's not just in their heads, as the episode portrays. They're tackling this thing wrongly. Granny Smith should be gravely injured by now, if not dead from all the things she did while feeling better. In your head, one might think they're okay, but your body still has the physical limitations like it did before. If she couldn't hold up Apple Bloom before, she shouldn't be able to now either. Not without breaking a bone or two. This is not okay. This is a poor message to people and outright disrespectful to people who have physical limitations due to their age or other reasons. And this stupidity of the pony billions is outstanding. They flock in hordes, most of which with broken bones and various illnesses, yet not one in those few days have ever complained about the tonic not working on them. It took Applejack to give a great big speech for them to realize they were being scammed. If they're that brain dead, let them be scammed, I say.
Now, aside from being pants-crappingly terrifying, I don't wear pants. Well, that's gonna be a mess for some pony to clean up. Anyway, she brought up a lot of good points I hadn't thought of in my initial viewing of the episode. And she's kinda right. Granny Smith really shouldn't be able to do that stuff, even with the confidence of the tonic. But as I was mulling this over, I was then introduced to Misanthropony, and I watched his video on Mage, and it brought up some good points, but I'm not going to play his clip because, well, he's kind of a jackass. Anyway, the summary of it is that there are some old people who, despite their age, are still in amazing physical condition. And he's right as well. So the question becomes, where does Granny Smith fall on this scale? And that's hard to pin down because, as Silver-Quill pointed out, her abilities just seem to go all over the place as much as the plot demands it. But I think there's another thing we can take away from this. Something that, while thinking over both of those points, made me remember a thing from my childhood. Something I can sum up in 3 words. Kick the can. And if you don't get that reference, shame on you. But if you really don't get the reference, here are 3 more words to clarify. The Twilight Zone. Yep, the Twilight Zone. In one of their classic episodes, they had an old person in a retirement home pining for the days when he was young, and when he used to run around the sprinklers and lay in the grass and play kick the can. Of course, this being the Twilight Zone, when he and others decided to actually play kick the can, they really did become young again. Now, obviously that's not going to happen in real life, because the Twilight Zone is a place full of all sorts of magical things and creatures and whatnots. But you know what else is a place full of magical creatures and things and whatnots? Equestria. So who's to say the laws of the Twilight Zone don't also kind of work in Equestria? Maybe there's some kind of background magic radiation that Earth ponies tap into to help them grow their crops. And if we take this into account, then that means Granny Smith really is only as old as she feels she is. Maybe the tonic was her version of kick the can. She was able to drink it and then think she was young again, and then she could do those things. She reverted just a little bit to her old Aqua Pony self. I mean, think of the other time we've seen her be more physical. The Zap Apple episode, and how she prepped for that. Well, why was she able to jump over all those water cans and paint the kitchen and yell at the glass jars and all those things she did there, because every time the Zap Apples appear, she remembers when they first appeared and how she helped and how that made her feel. It made her feel young again. And therefore, she was able to tap into whatever that is to make her move more than she usually does. Now, why doesn't she move like this all the time or think of herself as young? Well, my theory is that whenever Applejack's parents died, and yes, it's pretty much been confirmed they are dead, she took on a lot of the responsibilities of the farm. She had to take care of Big Mac, Applejack, and Apple Bloom, as well as Buck Apples and whatever else needed. Eventually, over time, Big Mac and Applejack got old enough to where they could help her. But then later, they weren't just helping her, they were running the farm. They were taking over everything. And Granny felt she was, well, old, useless, worn down. And that's when it started to wear on her, and that's when her body betrayed her. That magic that kept her young faded because she didn't think she was young. Of course, this was aided impartially, probably not consciously, by Big Mac, Applejack, and Apple Bloom too, because they treated her like she was old. So maybe if they let her help more, she would retain some of that energy she had. And who knows, maybe this works on other ponies as well. Maybe not just Earth ponies. Maybe every single old pony just needs to remember when they were young and they could be a little more spry and able to help out. Heck, maybe Celestia and Luna aren't actually immortal like we think. They just know when to sneak out to the back of the palace and play a rousing game of kick the can to keep their youthful spirit up. Wouldn't it be funny to see a picture of that? Yes. Yes, it would. Fan artists, fan animators, make this happen. Now, as for the point of the ponies with actual physical injuries not reporting anything until Applejack said something, yeah, that's just bad writing. I got nothing on that. But my theory of how Granny Smith might have been more spry while thinking the tonic was working still stands. It may not be right, but hey, it's a theory. And isn't that why we're all here, to share our thoughts and theories on the show? So for me, the magic in Equestria can extend all the way to the Twilight Zone. Hey, where's the music? What do you mean we can't play it? Oh, right. Copyright claims. Well, congratulations, YouTube. Your stupid copyright system has ruined my bit. I hope you're proud of yourselves. Anyway, I'm Blackbird, and I'll see you again for more Pony Talk.